You know, whenever you pass by this old ballast office, you should really raise your hat. And if you're not wearing a hat, you should give it a bit of an old salute. Because you know what? It was the ballast board that gave Dubliners one of the finest ports in Europe. At one time, shallow waters, drifting sands, and the dumping of ballast made the port of Dublin the terror of every sailor, merchant and seaman. The ships couldn't get up the river, so they had to dock out in Dalkey and Ringsend. And they say that you could run around the ships at low tide in Ringsend, and you wouldn't even wet your feet. Work goes on daily with the heavy cranes and the offloading of goods and merchandise at the port of Dublin. But at one time, this stuff all had to be brought along the Dalkey Road into the city because the drifting sand made the waters very shallow and the ships couldn't get up the river. This was first noticed in 1652 by a man called Gerard Boat. There were others, Andrew Yarranton. A man called Henry Howard wanted to solve the problem. And of course, Alderman Hawkins got permission to build a wall at College Green and shoot back the river. And there's a nice boat of grain. And there's the bell. I wonder, is that Beardo hour? And there's the dredging going on. At one time, there were 18 ships dredging the port of Dublin. But despite all the dredging that went on, they still couldn't stop the drifting sand. There's no joy in the ferry ride today. Empty. 30 years ago, that would have been chock-a-block with dockers and factory girls going back and forward. Of course, it was only tuppence to travel then. Can you imagine they'd leave that bit of grain there for the pigeons? So the pigeons like the top bit off the lorry. Well, despite all the dredging, they still couldn't solve the problem. The merchants kicked up a row, said they'd leave Dublin, take their business elsewhere unless the corporation set up a separate port authority. After Hawkins claimed the Lear Street and City Quay, the corporation started reclaiming what they called Newfoundland, the North Lots. The corporation also laid quiches, baskets of stones, to make a canal, throwing deep in the river, but the merchants still protested. And in 1707, the corporation established a separate port authority and tried their hand at building walls and dredging the river to make it deeper. But the merchants still protested. And in 1786, the Parliament in College Green called the matter to a head by passing an act and establishing the Ballast Board, the board to preserve and develop the Port of Dublin. And that was the start of the revolution in making the Port of Dublin the great port that it is today.